Okay, now, watch this. I got this out of a book, and I kind of liked it, and I'll show you why I like it in just a minute here. I'm going to read number 1. An apple pie needs 10 large apples, 2 crusts, and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Write a balanced equation that fits it. What? Balanced equation. Okay, so look here at the top of my paper. I actually helped you a little bit. Here's what you're going to write. 10 LAs, what's that? Large apples, plus 2 CRs, what's that?
Cinnamon.
No.
Crust.
Crust, okay, plus 1 tablespoon of cinnamon yields 1 apple pie. Okay, now the reason I want to show this to you is I'm going to show you the shortcut done with the apple pie thing. Now the question says, how many apples are needed if you want to make 25 pies? So watch what I'm going to do here, ready? I'm going to go down here. They want to make 25 pies. You got that? Now watch what I can do here. We can actually fill out every one of these boxes. They don't ask for that. We can fill out every one of the boxes. Are you ready? Here's shortcut. See this 1? See that 1? See that 1? Matchy, matchy. What are you going to put here? This has to be a 1-to-1 ratio, doesn't it? 25 to 25. Now watch this. Here's 1, 2. Gotta get bigger. Now you're going to multiply by 1 over 2 or 2 over 1?
1, 2 over 1.
2 over 1. So what's 2 times this?
50.
All right. And now let's do another one. I think I'll start from here. Ready? I'm going, gotta get bigger. Gotta get bigger. So now what am I going to multiply by?
5.
2 over 10 or 10 over 2?
10 over 2. 5.
Which is the same as 5. So you multiply this times 10 over 2.
2005.
And that gives you,
250.
all right. So what we're doing is, the reason they did this is to show you how to do these things called mole ratios. If this is the ratio in which these ingredients combine, then they have to stay in that ratio. This number here has to always be 5 times bigger than that. This number has to be 2 times bigger than that. This number has to match that one, doesn't it? So if I start with 25 here, that has to be 25, 50, 250. Isn't that the 10 to 2 to 1 to 1 ratio? Isn't it? You're looking at me, well, I don't know. What if you reduce this? What if a teacher asked you to reduce those numbers? What would you get? Divide them all by 25. What would you get?
1, 1.
10,
10, 2, 1, 1.
2, 1, 1.
What?
So you are still in that ratio, aren't you? That's why we balance an equation in chemistry, because that's the way they combine.
Couldn't you just multiply each of them by 25?
Well, 25 times, I mean, I could, but why multiply? And what's going to happen is it's going to get a little more complicated later, like, well, this might be a 5 and that might be a 3. Then what are you going to do? See, 5, 3. Got to get smaller. Now what are you going to multiply? Will 5/3 get you smaller or 3/5?
3/5.
That's right. So I'm trying to show you the shortcut, how this works. Let's do number 2. All right. Now we're done with number 1. Number 2, 2 moles of potassium chloride. I'm sorry.
Wait, right here.
All right, 2 moles of potassium chloride. How do you write potassium chloride? K, yes. All right, now. Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you.
All right, ready? And how do you know it's KCl? How do you know it's not K2 or K? How do you know it's not KCl2?
Because they match.
What does that mean? Yeah, in a compound, potassium is +1, and chlorine is what? Okay, so now we're ready to write the next one. 2 moles of potassium chloride and 3 moles of oxygen. Oops, I made a mistake. Are what? Are produced. So what should I have done? Where should I have written them? Oh, they were produced. Darn, you tricked me. I should have read the whole thing. Okay. 2 moles of potassium chloride and 3 moles of oxygen. O or O2?
O2.
Yes? O2?
Yes.
Okay. Are produced from the decomposition of 2 moles of potassium chlorate.
Oliver Cromwell.
Okay, potassium. Anybody remember chlorate?
CHClO2.
Oh, you're close.
ClO2.
Yes. What's the charge on chlorate? Minus what? What's the charge on potassium? Okay, so that's potassium chloride. Now, do we have a balance? They gave us a balanced equation, didn't they?
Yep.
So now let's read the next part. How many moles of oxygen are produced? They want to know how many moles of oxygen are produced. There's oxygen. From what? From 12 moles. What if I don't give you 2? What if I give you 12 moles? Watch now. Let's go down the line. Ready? 2, 2. What do you think?
Yeah.
Matchy, matchy. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Now watch. 2, 3. Gotta get bigger. Now, which gonna make you bigger? Multiplying by 2/3 or 3/2? 3/2. Okay. What do you think? Now watch what happens. Put that in the calculator and multiply it by 3/2 and see what you get.
18.
Now, true or false?
True.
Watch now. Watch now. Is 12 to 12 to 18 the same ratio as 2 to 2 to 3?
Yeah.
See, this only tells you, yeah, if I give you 2 moles of that, it'll make 2 moles of that and 3 of that. But what if I don't give you 2 moles of that? What if I have some other number?
12.
Like 0.5? It's still going to be the same ratio, isn't it? And that's the fun, that's the puzzle nature of this. All right, what do you think about number 2?
Is it
Now, number three, they actually want you to use the same equation. So let's write that down again.
again?
It says here, using the equation from problem number 2, how many moles of oxygen are produced? They want me to find that, don't they? Hey, why do I write the moles? Don't I always write moles down? Okay. They want to know how many moles of oxygen are produced again, but now what are they going to give me?
They're going to give you 14.
Ah, okay, let's do that. So let's see if you can find all these boxes. All right, so you ready? Ready? Let's go sideways. Sean, when we go sideways, what are the only numbers that we think about? That's right. Now, watch what happens here. 2, 2, matchy, matchy. So if that's 14, that has to be 14.
21.
Now, does that make sense? Matchy, matchy. Now, watch. 2, 3, gotta get...
21.
That would be cute if it was the right answer. But, ready? Let's try to get 2 is going to turn into 3. If 2 has to turn into 3, doesn't it have to get bigger? All right, so which will make you bigger? Multiplying by 2/3 or 3/2? 3/2 is 1.5, by the way. Okay, so we're going to multiply by 3/2.
21.
All right, see how that works? Yeah. If I can get you to understand that, that's part of the game. That's part of the game we have. All right. Okay, now let's do the hardest one of all. Okay, we're going to do the hardest one on the whole page. Okay. Is everybody okay on this?
Yeah.
Now, after a while, you're going to be doing these on your own, but I want to make sure we have a really good start. Yeah. Okay, let's go to number 4.
This is our homework.
Yeah, there's a lot more problems to do.
There's only 6.
There's some on the back. There's some on the back. Hold it. Hey, hold it. Shh. Hold it. Shh. All right, let's go. This one is the hardest. So let's do number 4. Now, and you'll find out in just a minute why it's probably the hardest. And then I'll probably, at this point, after you do number 4, I'm going to walk around the room. Everybody has to work on their own. I'm going to help you. I'll just walk around. Okay, so let's take a look. It says here 2 molecules of hydrogen. That's what I was trying to tell you. The mole world mimics what's going on in the little world. So 2 molecules of hydrogen. That could be 2 moles or 2 molecules. 2 moles is a whole lot more. 2 molecules of hydrogen react with 1 molecule of oxygen to produce what? 2 molecules of H2O. So now I have my balanced equation, don't I? How many molecules of water are produced? So what they want me to find out how many molecules of water are produced from what? From what?
From 2H, from 2 times to the 23rd molecules of oxygen.
All right, so everybody ready? Everybody ready? Okay, the way we do factor label has always been the same way. We write down the given. Now, for those of you who if you still refuse to put labels here, you don't need to ask me why you don't understand. You don't understand because you're not even willing to put the label here. What is the label here? It says 2.2 times 10 to the 23rd what? Molecules of O2. Now we have to write that label down. Okay, now, we can't go from here to here. There's a tree in a way, right?
Yeah.
So our plan is to go down into mole world and then go over to this mole world and then to pop back up. Are you ready? All right.
I'm not ready. All right, I'm ready.
All right, I want you, without my help, I want you to take the next 30 seconds and just tell me if you know how to write this, and if you do, write that number in there. So tell me what goes here, and then tell me what number goes here. So take 30 seconds, don't ask anybody else, and see what you come up with by yourself. And if you sit there for 30 seconds and you have no idea, then you need to listen really carefully. Those of you who already know what's going on, you have something written here, and you probably have a number in there. You will.
Grams on the bottom.
No, not you.
So you can't ask me right now. So you can ask me in 30 seconds. See, if you just copy what I have on the board, you don't know anything. You got it? You don't know anything if you just copy it. If you can tell me why I wrote it, you probably know what's going on. And if something in your head, if you haven't already told yourself, change molecules of oxygen to what?
Moles.
If you haven't said that, that's why you don't know what to do.
I already know how many it is.
So molecules of O2, I'm going to change it to moles of O2. All right, from last chapter, here we go. From last chapter, what do you know? Tell me everything you know about O2.
6.0 I'm sending to the 23rd. Molecules.
Yes. Equals?
You don't need grams to do.
You're right. Today we don't. We might need it later though.
Well,
Equals what?
It's 30.
32 grams of O2. Again, if you cannot write equivalents, that's why you're not going to be successful. All right, now let's plug the numbers in here. And what number goes next to moles of oxygen? I'm out. Okay. All right, look up here. And what number goes with moles of O2?
0.33.
1. What number goes with molecules of O2? Okay, now we're going to stop there, and you're going to take this number and divide by that number. But if you don't put that in parentheses, you're going to be way off. So let's try it, and tell me what number goes here. And as soon as you get it, tell me. Do you have it? You don't have a calculator? What is it? 0.3?
32.
Is that what everybody got? Okay. So now we're there. Now we're not done yet because what's my next plan?
Gotta
Let's
get over.
say it in words.
Gotta get
Change.
moles of O2 to moles of hot water.
Water. Okay, got it? So this what label has to go away?
Moles of O2.
And we're going to change it to moles of water.
Yeah.
And now I don't get my numbers from here, but Sean knows. Sean knows that when you move sideways in the mole world, you get your numbers from.
Coefficients of the dots, but
Okay, so help me, Sean. What's the coefficient in front of O2 in this balanced equation?
1,
Yes? And what's the coefficient in front of the water?
2.
Okay? Got it? Now we're almost done. What number goes here then?
0.664.
Does everybody have that?
0.664.
Okay. And you know what? You know why shortcut works? Watch.
So you just multiply.
1, 2. Gotta get bigger. Multiply by 2 over 1. Look what factor label made you do. It made you multiply by 2, didn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why the shortcut works. We got one more and we're done. In words, J3, tell me. In words, change what into what? O. That's water. Molecules. There we go. Okay, so get rid of moles of water, and change it to molecules of water. All right, here we go. 1 mole water equals 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd what? Molecules, because that's a compound, a non-metal of water, equals how many grams? What's molar mass of water every day? 18 grams. All right, here we go. What number goes with moles of water?
1.
There it is, 1. What number goes with molecules of water? There we go.
Mine ain't working.
All right, there we go. So if you take, this number's already in your calculator, hopefully. So you just multiply it times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And what do we got here? One more time.
4 times 10 to the 23rd.
Is everybody getting that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, if you're not actually pushing the buttons on a calculator, then all you're doing is copying. You're not learning anything. Okay? I'll be honest with you. You're not learning anything. If you're not punching numbers, and if you punch your numbers, got the wrong number, you're ready to learn something. If you're not punching numbers, you're not learning anything.
That's a big number.
All right, so now what we're going to do is you now should be able to do all the way down to number 5. You already did number 5. You should be able to do number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for the rest of the period, and we have until, let's see, today's Thursday, right? So we have about 8 more minutes. I would like you to spend time and try to do, maybe you can do 1 or 2, maybe 2 problems. So why don't you go down to section 9.2, number 1. 9.2, number 1. Yes.
So these are the balanced equations.
Yeah, the good news is the first 4, they gave you the balanced equations.
So you just write that in the alphabet.
Well, what you do is, I'd like you to write it out. See, hey, can everybody look at me? I'd like you to write out the balanced equation and do this, the boxes and stuff here. That really helps you plan out your thing. But what's going to be down there is, this is what I grade. I mean, this is what I'm looking for is factor label. But I really would like you to write this out so it makes sense to you. So you want me to do one more with you?
No, I was just wondering.
Okay.
No.
All right, so if you don't want me to do one more, then don't look. Okay, here we go.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is this G?
Gas.
So
We don't have, that doesn't matter in this case. Okay, so if those of you who'd like to do one more, does everybody see the balanced equation there? Okay, so I'm gonna start with that. And what's my given? 10 moles of hydrogen. Now, do I put that up here? No. Where do I always put moles? On the bottom. So I'm gonna put a 10 here, right? 10 moles. Okay, what do they want to know? What's it say here? Calculate the number of what? If you start with 10 moles. I understand if you start with 1 mole, you'll get 2. But what happens if we start with 10? Look, we're going sideways, Sean, aren't we? We're going sideways. So we look at the coefficients. 1, 2. Gotta get bigger. So multiply by 1 over 2 or 2 over 1? 2 over 1, right? Wow, that was pretty easy. That was pretty easy. Now, that's called the shortcut. That's sort of the shortcut. Let's do the long cut. What's my given? Everybody ready? Okay, now, look at my plan. Look at my plan, see? Change moles of hydrogen into moles of HCl. And because I'm going sideways, I get my numbers from the coefficients. For every one of those, you get 2 of those, and look at that. That's why this shortcut works. That's why this shortcut works. Everybody okay on that? If you're not gaining a little bit more confidence every time we did it, you're playing some kind of game. If every time I do a problem, you're not more confident, you're playing a game where you're just copying. You got it? If you're copying, you're not learning anything. I liked it when you raised your hand and said, I think the number's this number. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. You took a chance. You said, I think that's the number. Okay, anyway, let's spend the next 6 minutes here, and you can do, I'd like you to stop when you get to number 5, because we did that one, and then you'll need a little tiny little mini lesson before you can do past that. So don't go past number 4, okay? I'm gonna turn this off.